Good morning. It's Thursday, September 3rd, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and I'm choosing to rejoice and be glad in it. And I trust that you are doing the same. It has been a great week. So many things have happened over the course of this week that normally would have just had me semi-stressed out, but I didn't get stressed out because I was talking to my family last night, and I said, we have the tools because we surrender and we realize that we don't have to do anything. We can just give it to God. But it brings me to the topic that I want to discuss with you all today, and it's the number 4 in the 9 sins that Christians are okay with. So let's review really quickly. We talked about fear, right? Was number 1. Number 2 was apathy. Number 3 was gluttony. And now number 4 is worry. Worry, worry, worry. I think I've talked about worry a few times doing these recordings and devotionals, but it's such a thing. It plagues us so much, and we forget that worrying is not of God. It completely takes our trust away from God. The author says that worrying gives you something to do, but it gets you nowhere. It's like a rocking chair that moves, giving you something to do, but you're not going anywhere. Jesus said you shouldn't worry about anything in Matthew chapter 6. But the author said it was so funny. He's like, but Jesus wasn't serious, right? He didn't live in this world we lived in. He had to have known that we would worry. But check this out. Worrying is symptomatic of a larger issue, lack of faith. We know this. This is nothing new that I'm giving you. And for followers of Jesus, whose primary mission is to show the glory and nature of God to the world, worrying is a problem because the evidence of God is shown through our faith and our faith in action. And so if we're constantly in a state of worry, how can our faith actually be in action? And therefore, how can we be portraying Jesus Christ? Sometimes we forget to think about it like that. We always want to bookend it with, well, we're human. I'm human. We're worrying because I'm human. I've done it before, and I've been known to say it to other people. But guess what? We don't get to do the same thing as everybody else. As believers, as faith walkers on this Christian journey, worrying cannot be a part of what we do. The author also goes on to say Americans will do anything to maintain the illusion of control and responsibility. So no wonder worry plagues us. Worry is the byproduct of bearing a weight only God can bear. He says, my greatest concern is that we don't want to need God because we're Americans, we're independent. Have you ever thought about it like that? Have you ever actually thought about it in a place where I don't really want to need him? Now, I want him to be there should something happen, but I don't want to need him. I want to just be able to do my thing. And I can honestly say there's no malice behind us thinking that. But we have been trained, particularly in American society, United States, to be so super independent. We don't need a man. We don't want to need our parents. We don't want to need our brothers and sisters. We don't want to need our friends. So therefore, we're living in a world and we're developing a mindset where we don't want to need anybody but ourselves. So how in the world are we going to be trained to need God? So we always find ourselves in a constant state of worrying because we're always relying on this physical vessel, which as Christians we know can do nothing without the Holy Spirit moving through us. So it's going to be so important that we separate ourselves from this independent mindset, this worldview of not needing anything, and rest surely in the fact that if we surrender every part of our being to God and let him know, I need you, there's nothing I can do without you, worrying will subside. So I'm not saying that I don't understand how it has come to place. We all understand it because of the environment and the society in which we live. But I am saying that there is a method and there is a plan of action to keep us from being in a constant state of worrying. And that is to realize that we do need, and it's okay to need God, because in needing God, in completely putting our faith in the one who gave us life, who breathes life into us every day, we are showing others God. And that's what we're called to do. At the end of the day, it has to just cycle back around to what we've been placed here on earth to do. I know that sometimes it's going to be difficult to get away from this one, but God is faithful and He's able, and I know that He will do all things but fail. So I'm trusting with you today that you can step away from this idea of being independent to a point that it's got you in a state of worry and completely rely on God. Surrender yourself to Him. Trust Him to do what He said that He would do. And I pray that you move forward with a clear mind, sincere heart, and obedient footsteps. Go in love.